All right, well, it is time to make probably one of my favorite recipes of all time. I make this 10, 15 times a year. It's great for any occasion, especially Memorial Day weekend like coming up. So this is going to be my famous pasta salad recipe that's known throughout the friend group, throughout the family as just being dynamite. As you can see here, it's mostly fresh vegetables. We have a carrot, coleslaw, bell peppers, celery ribs, got some black olives up here as well. So it's just a lot of fresh vegetables, and I only use, a pound of pasta. But the secret to this recipe is 3-cheese vinaigrette from Aldi. Now I've used a house dressing as well, also really, really good. Any vinaigrette would suffice for this, but this is just a dynamite recipe. It's so delicious, and the more you let it kind of sit in the fridge, I usually like to give it a couple days, 2 or 3 days, to just kind of gel. I'm constantly agitating it, mixing it up in the bowl, just to kind of let all those flavors kind of meet. So this is how I'm going to put it all together. So what we got here is now this is going to be a ½ pound of domestic feta. So we've got 2 4-ounce containers of that. It's got a little bit of seasoned, a little traditional. The stuff from the deli works really well. Also, we have 1 large carrot that we are going to peel and then shred into it in large chunks. That just kind of gives it some character. A lot of this pasta salad, it has its own. It's kind of evolved over time. Got a bag of coleslaw here that I'm going to be putting in. I got 2 yellow bell peppers, 2 orange bell peppers, a red just because they only had 1. I got about 5 ribs of celery with the ends kind of chopped off. I have 1 package of turkey pepperoni, and this is just going to be, sliced up. Sometimes I've crumbled bacon in there. That's really, really good as well. Obviously, the 3-cheese vinaigrette, and any vinaigrette will suffice for this, but that's personally my favorite, and that's kind of what gives this that flavor. I have some black olives that I'm going to be cutting in half, and then parsley, a little bit of garlic powder, got some Mrs. Dash original, no surprise, and then I'm going to put in a little bit of black pepper as well. So the first step is really I'm going to slice the celery into very thin strips. Everything's going to be chopped up very finely, or at least the bell peppers and the celery will, and then we'll add in the coleslaw. We'll shred the carrot, and then we'll just kind of shred off large strips of carrot in that, and then dice up the pepperoni. I'm going to first cut the bell peppers, and then I'm going to crumble feta on, or not bell peppers, the black olives, and then I'm going to crumble the feta on top of that. And so let's get chopping. Our celery has been washed, the ends and the tops have been cut off, and what we're going to do is, in maybe about 1/4 inch strips, we're just going to dice each rib into about, not dice, but we're going to slice each rib into about 4 pieces like that, maybe about 1/4 inch. And then I usually like to do a couple ribs before I end up chopping these, and I'm just going to do a pretty fine dice. Like to get all the flavors in this, with each bite. I like to eat this, and 3/4 is fine. Like with each bite, I like to eat this with a spoon because there's just so many flavor-packed ingredients in here, and I like to get the celery flavoring mixed with the bell pepper flavoring mixed with the feta and the black olive and the pasta. So nice little dice goes up in there, and once you get to the end, it's going to be kind of anything goes. So we're going to finish up our celery, and all this is going to go into our giant mixing bowl. And it's good to have a big mixing bowl like that too at the end, just to kind of make sure you're getting everything all homogeneous without anything falling out. So celery is diced. Next, we're going to dice up our bell peppers. into about bite-sized pieces, a little bit bigger than the celery. If you want to make it the same size, that's also fine. So we're gonna dice up all the bell peppers and get them into the bowl. So we got our orange, yellow, and red peppers all diced up there. We got the celery all diced up in the middle. I went ahead and peeled this carrot, and now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of spin this thing in our hands, and we're just gonna get some nice carrot strips into, or carrot rounds, into the salad itself. And I like doing this because it leaves nice little big chunks in there. You know, you can easily get them with the, stab them with the fork, and just brings another, you know, awesome shade to this super colorful dish. So we got the orange, the yellow, the red, the green. We got the white of the feta. We'll have the black of the black olives. We'll do a tricolored rotini. Forgot to mention. Got a pot going on the stove right now. So that's some more color to all this. And we'll shave this carrot up, and then we will dice up the pepperoni next, or we'll cut it into thin strips, and we will keep assembling, keep mixing. All right, so we got our carrot all grated up into here, and then what I'm gonna do next, I guess, I'm gonna add in the coleslaw, just a whole bag of coleslaw. It's got some purple cabbage in it, it's got a little bit of carrot in that as well, and give this a quick stir, and we'll mix up here. And this is a massive serving bowl. I'm talking massive serving bowl. Look at the height on that. And this is almost full of just straight vegetables. I mean, this is, at the end of the day, a pretty healthy, you know, snack. Healthy pasta salad. So it's a good way to get your veggies in. And I have made a vegan version of this before, where I just leave out the feta and I leave out the pepperoni or the bacon, and I throw in some avocado and stir it all up. And the avocado kind of takes the place of the creamy ingredient that the feta kind of does. But oh man, look at that. Looks like vegetable confetti. Love the way the purple cabbage kind of sticks out. And it's smelling great. So, got that nice and mixed up. Looking good. Next, we will cut up the olives and then cut up the pepperoni. So we got our black olives here, and the way that I cut black olives is I cut them widthways, not lengthways. So I'll cut it in half, and then it kind of creates this little mini bowl. And what we'll do is we'll add the olives first, and then we'll crumble the feta on top of the olives, give that almost like a surface level stir, kind of let everything, you know, gel together. I'll let the feta make its way into the olive, and then we'll stir it into here. So a whole can of black olives, we're gonna cut them widthwise, not lengthwise. Next, we're gonna add in, since we have our black olives all chopped widthwise, not lengthwise, we're gonna add in our feta. Now, I usually buy feta at the deli. Just buy a half-pound of domestic feta. I think Hungarian feta is another style. The domestic is your traditional feta taste. This time I went with a tomato basil and then just a regular one. But we don't want to leave it in these big chunks. We want to get the chunks as small as possible. So what we're gonna do is we'll take this 4 ounces, and I'm just gonna crumble it in my hands here. Get the hands all nice and dirty, but just to really kind of break down the big chunks. So sometimes what I like to do as well, if you want this pasta salad to be a little bit creamier, is once your pound or your 12 ounces or your box of tricolor rotini is done cooking, al dente, so about, you know, 8, 9, 10 minutes, I like to put the drained warm pasta right on top of the feta, and that kind of melts it and kind of creates this creamy little look to it. So that's 1 4-ounce container. Now the next, we'll tap the little feta crumbs into the bowl as well at the end here too. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of surface level stir this up and check that out. So you have the feta that makes its way into the olive. It's like a force of nature. Not sure why, but I dig it. Tastes good. We'll get the rest of this in there. More flavor. Alright, we'll wash the hands. We will dice up the pepperoni next. Alright, so we got our pepperoni out, and all we're gonna do is just cut it into these little strips. Again, if you want to use bacon, you know, use a thick cut bacon, get it real crispy into a pan, and then, you know, let it come to back to room temp, harden up, and then just, you know, crumble it the same way you would the feta. But what we have here are these little pepperoni strips, and I like using this every now and then. The bacon's just as good, and this just kind of gives that other you know, flavor profile that makes this such a banging recipe. So cut the rest of this up, we'll add it into there, and then it's time for the pasta and then to dress. So we just added in our al dente pasta. Now, and you can see, really, the pasta is only a thin layer on the top. Most of this is vegetables and kind of the accoutrement. So now we're going to dress it and we're going to spice it. Now, one thing I love, and I love to add to this, is a ton of parsley. Obviously, if you have fresh parsley, I like to give it another crunch. You know, not only for the flavor of the parsley, but also for the garnish of it. And I actually, you know what, I'm gonna add another kind of handful here. So honestly, probably about a 1/4 cup of parsley. And this again just adds to that great look to everything. I mean, the parsley kind of makes its way in through all of the pasta and all the veggies and whatnot. We're gonna give a couple shakes of Mrs. Dash. We'll do a little bit of garlic powder. Now a little bit of black pepper. Black pepper. And then I have this awesome roasted garlic and herb spice grinder. I'm gonna give it a couple shakes of that. A couple twists. And then finally we're gonna use probably about 3/4 of this salad dressing here. Give it a nice shake, and then so we got a little bit left, that's fine. And then over time too, the salt that's in here will draw the liquid out of the vegetables and kind of create its own dressing. And so now it's the time to toss it all up, toss it all together. Oh my god, that smells amazing. Got the black olives, the feta making its presence known. Nice vinegary, oily, seasoned. Oh man, that looks good. And honestly, if I had to guess, I would say this is probably, maybe like 10 pounds. Well, we got the pound of pasta, and that was pound of dry weight. You got the can of black olives, you got the bag of coleslaw, and this is just so delicious. Again, you know, I make this probably about 10 to 12 times a year. This is just one of my favorite foods in general. And you want to serve this chilled. It's delicious when it's chilled. And if you want to change up the dressing, it's going to be a little different. However, you know, you can use like a light Italian. That would also be good. You can just do a standard, you know, extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, garlic, a little oregano, kind of make your own, you know, Greek dressing. That would be good in this. You know, again, this is the scaffolding for what you like. If you don't like black olives, then, you know, you don't have to put them in. But this recipe is dynamite. So I hope you enjoy this. Keep this in the fridge for a couple days. Every day, maybe twice a day. Shake it up. let the flavors get to know each other, and it seems like on that third day everything just comes together and just is so just fantastic. So this is the way to crush any picnic this summer. Enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.